Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Leeds have, of course, just lost 3-2 away at Stamford Bridge in the FA Cup, but it is not all doom and gloom because, realistically, against the blue £1 billion bottle jobs, Leeds put in a stellar performance. When you consider from the start that we didn't have our second best or best, whichever one you want to go for, player in Jorginho Rutter, even in the matchday squad, and we were still able to go toe-to-toe with a team like Chelsea, where their midfield was £100 million each of those players, then I think those boys could be really proud, the ones that played out there today. So, yeah, I mean, I've done this only once before, but there you go. That's the squad. That was a squad that was out today, and you start to think that Ampadu and Gray back in the midfield gives us a chance to see what they're like in there. James, Peru, Anthony, and Joseph. Joseph, of course, getting 2 goals, but we'll get into more of that in a second. So, the game, really, I mean, honestly, it was like watching a championship game up against a good side. It was like watching us up against Leicester or anyone else like that. That's how much we struggled or didn't struggle, whichever way you want to put it, with the game. It wasn't a massive step for us to play in a game like this. And yes, they rested some players, but the only player who was really young and that I'd never heard of was that Gilchrist, who played at fullback. So yeah, I think realistically we've done so well to score 2 goals away at Stamford Bridge and to come away with a loss that only came in the 89th, 90th minute. It's a massive performance from Leeds, and it's not too disheartening. Look, we never thought we were going to get to the FA Cup final and win the FA Cup, as much as people joke. But I do think that this was a good and a good experience, and also a good little vision into the future of what it'd be like if we do get back up in the Premier League with this type of system. Yes, we conceded 3 goals, but when you start to consider that we didn't have our best defence in, Pascal Strauch's still not in the matchday squad. Ethan Ampadu, who'd been playing fantastically well at left centre-back, was put into the midfield, and so you started with Cooper and Firpo. Now, if last season you started a game with Cooper and Firpo, you're thinking, oh my God. And to be honest, when I saw the lineup, I didn't think, oh my God, because he'd not been thinking that over the last couple of months and this whole season, really, in terms of the way that Leeds have been playing. So I wasn't thinking, oh no, Cooper and Firpo. It did transpire that pretty much all of their goals came down that side. Literally all 3 of them came down that side, and I think I mentioned this on the live watch along, but a player like Cooper, whilst it is possible to succeed in a Premier League at the highest level, Premier League or Championship or whatever, it's possible to succeed as a slow defender if you're very good at reading the game. But you do struggle to play in a system that is an attacking, passing system and stuff like that, because you do open yourselves up to being counter-attacked and to being opened up. And sometimes you need a bit of extra pace. For their first goal, the way that the ball came through to Nicholas Jackson, another defender, I think when you watch the replay, another defender gets there enough to put his body in the way of the shot, and Nicholas Jackson doesn't get his shot away underneath Meslier. And I think you could see on the replay that Cooper just wasn't fast enough. There was a lot of miscommunications between Cooper and Firpo during that game, and I think positioning-wise, they left a lot to be desired. And there were moments where you just thought, just close that gap between you, or one of you's not talking to the other one, or you're not facing each other, you're not facing the right way. All of these sorts of things came together to open up opportunities for them. But also it is a lesson in how the Premier League is compared to the Championship, because even a side like Chelsea, who I'm pretty sure they said that are currently are sat 11th in the Premier League, they have the ability to pop the ball around so much faster than what Championship teams do. And I think when you look at the way that they scored their first goal, it was bang, 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 first time pass, and they're in. And I think you don't really see that in the Championship. You get a little bit more time to adjust. You do get good quality players in the Championship, but usually in the Championship you get 1 good quality player in an attack for a team, not 5. Do you know what I mean? Like, so when you're getting those link-up plays in the Championship, other players slow it down for those quality players, let's say. So that was the kind of negative thing, is that I think Firpo and Cooper are kind of not suited for the Premier League. Look, if we go up, we need to strengthen in those positions, and we knew that anyway. But I just do think it's just a little bit of a warning sign and a reminder that whilst, yes, we're good in the Championship, and whilst Firpo's good in the Championship, I don't necessarily think he's good enough to make that step back up to the Premier League. Now, I made a video about that the other week, if you want to go and check that out, whether Firpo's good enough, or we talk about that in more depth. But for now, let's go back to the game, because before that Nicholas Jackson goal, Mateo Joseph obviously scored a goal early on. They were trying to play out from the back, and they gave the ball away through a brilliant bit of pressing by Archie Gray, who came in, slid in their box. Ball bounced straight over to Anthony, who just gave it to Mateo Joseph, who didn't even take a second to think and just banged it in the back of the net. So I think Mateo Joseph, and then got his second goal as well when Jadon Anthony equalised things by crossing the ball in to Mateo Joseph at the back post, who perfectly headed the ball back across the goalkeeper after a long switch from Ampadu out to Anthony into the box to Mateo Joseph, who headed the ball back across the goalkeeper and made it level. And I think Mateo Joseph has proved to me one thing today. He's got a striker's instinct. He knows how to make strikers runs, and I think that is a very good thing to have. So I'm excited to see more of him in the Championship. Someone asked whether I think that he should start over Bamford. No, I think he's a very good bench player, and I think he's somebody who needs time to bed in a little bit more, Mateo Joseph. But he's shown to me today more than he's shown in pretty much any of his other games for Leeds. And so I think, yeah, that's a positive thing from this game. Also, I did think that down our right-hand side, in the first half, certainly, Gilchrist, their young left back, could have been exploited so much more than he was by Dan James. And I think Leeds, for some reason, the players had some sort of reluctance to go down that side to utilise the space in behind Gilchrist with Dan James. He tried it a few times, but there was moments where Connor Roberts had the ball and he had that opportunity to play the ball down the line and instead came inside. And I did think that was a mistake to do that. I also think that Connor Roberts, it's a good job we've got him on loan, is all I'll say. I just don't think he's quite good enough for a Premier League right back. And I hope this is kind of like a sanity check for the recruitment department at Leeds. And I know that they're probably more competent than what we've had in the past, but for me, this is a little bit of a, okay, yeah, Roberts is a very good Championship defender, which is what we said when he came in. But sometimes clubs can get carried away after a really good Championship season, and they make something like Connor Roberts' deal permanent. And then you start to go, yeah, but should we have done that? Because when you see him against Premier League wingers, he's not that great. And I think he gave the ball away a lot, and I think he struggled a little bit. Also, I want to talk about Joe Rodon, because I do think that whilst Joe Rodon has been a fantastic servant for us in the Championship, he's been a brilliant defender. I do think there have been moments in the Championship where you've seen that his distribution from the back isn't fantastic. It's not that he's bad at it, but I think in high-pressure situations where he's being pressed, or there are players marking the midfielders that he's trying to pass to, I think he sometimes struggles to play into the midfield. With Cooper being in there with him tonight, he kind of took the role of that chief distributor, the person who's trying to get the ball out from the back, and I think he struggled a lot of the time playing the ball into touch or playing the ball straight to a Chelsea player. I think those cracks in his game have started to show throughout the Championship season, while Ampadu plays alongside him or Strout plays alongside him. They've taken that mantle of playing the ball out from the back. And whilst I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, I think Joe Rodon's been fantastic for us this season. Don't get me wrong, fantastic. But my concern is if we go up to the Premier League and we do get him permanently, has he got it in his locker to play those passes that we need him to play in this system? Perhaps that's a reason why he hasn't made it so much in the Premier League before, and the Championship might be suited to him to be a top-end Championship defender. I'm not sure. That one remains to be seen. But he has been fantastic this season. Don't get me wrong on that. It's just something that I've noticed that is something to remember and to look back upon towards the end of the season. Having said all that, Chelsea, of course, scored their other goals, last one coming through Conor Gallagher right at the end. But I want to talk more about somebody like Archie Gray. Like, Archie Gray got given man of the match. Archie Gray got given the man of the match whilst playing in a midfield that cost, between him and Ampadu, if you put in the two, Enzo Fernandez and Moise Caicedo against Ethan Ampadu and Archie Gray, it's £7 million versus £200 million. And Archie Gray looked the best out of all four of them. Unbelievable. I mean, I said before about when he came in for the first goal, he slid in the box and got the ball off them. the composure that he has to take the ball away from on-rushing attackers, the composure that he has to always find a pass, to know when to go forward, to know when to go back, to know when to try to take on a man, to know when to be more conservative, give the ball backwards and give the ball sideways. And he just exemplified everything about his game tonight. And I think he was brilliant. He really, really showed his maturity. And also, do you know what he showed? He showed that he can play in the Premier League. He showed to me that he's actually ready for the Premier League, which is ridiculous for somebody who turns 18 in a few weeks. 18, he's only 17 still. So for me, yeah, that's one of the highlights for me. But honestly, don't take this too to heart. Don't take this too badly. For me, yes, Chelsea are a rival with plenty of time to get back at them if we do get in the Premier League. But I do think that there are things to pick out from tonight's game that are very, very positive, and there are things that are a bit of a, okay, that could be a warning sign in future if we do get promoted back to the Premier League. So just some things to think about from tonight's game. That's the way I wanted to tackle this match reaction. Enjoyed it though. A good game of football, things to celebrate, things to commiserate. But in the end, Leeds United have gone out of the FA Cup and it's back to concentrating on that league. Thank you so much for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.